The Reformation, a religious change. As the Renaissance spread, the people of Europe became more aware of things. The children got a better education and people began reading and thinking for themselves. They realized exactly how unfair the church was. The priests of the church would spend a lot of money and live a life of luxury. They would explain the meaning of the Bible to the people any way they wanted. They were cheating the people a lot and making a lot of money for themselves. If a person had done something bad, he had to tell the priest about it. The priest would then ask him to buy a letter of forgiveness from the church. These were letters that the church had written and the Pope had signed. The person had to submit this letter to the priest. Only then would the priest forgive him. The people were so scared of God's punishment that they did anything the priest asked them to. So, people kept buying these letters. The priests became richer and richer. Anyone who dared to speak against the church was isolated. It was horrible to live like that. No one was allowed to speak to that person. No one wanted to be isolated. So they all obeyed. They did everything the priests asked them to do. Some people would still brave all this and speak up. The church did not want such people around. So they would find these people, call them witches, and burn them at the stake. Lots of people were burned at the stake like this. But as the Renaissance took place, people could not tolerate this anymore. There were a few people who gathered support and protested against this behavior of the church. Such people were called Protestants. They were isolated by the church, so they formed their own churches. The change in the way people understood religion is called Reformation. John Huss was a Catholic priest from Czechoslovakia. He was a professor at the University of Prague. He protested against the corrupt practices of the church. The church did not like this. In 1415, he was burned at the stake. Martin Luther was born in 1483 in Germany. His parents wanted him to be a lawyer. While in law school, he was almost struck by lightning once. He saw this as a sign and decided to quit law school and serve God. So Martin Luther became a monk. He protested against the letters of forgiveness sold by the church. The church was upset when people stopped buying the letters. So they declared a death punishment for Martin Luther. Martin Luther immediately went into hiding. He then translated the Bible into German. He also founded a new religion and a new church. It is known as Lutheranism. Erasmus lived from 1466 to 1536. He was a Dutch scholar. The Dutch are people from Netherlands. He was against the practices of the church. However, he wasn't entirely on the side of Luther either. He was in favor of what is called free will.